Okay, I'm gonna press go live now.
Yeah.
But that's actually I'm not sure I entirely understand all the details of that, but it does sound
Yeah.
very interesting. I like the
Mm.
yeah, but Jeremy Clarkson does sound rather posh. So
Jeremy Clarkson is rather posh burger.
okay, but how then? Which one is the like? I have to find this out.
Anyways,
James
oh, for
May
fuck's sake.
and
Really?
Hamster.
Anyways, I'm gonna be playing some Synthetic 2 because there's just been a massive update. And I will be streaming it, so I will not be doing memes at the moment.
Was born in Bristol, the son of an aluminium factory manager. I don't know
He's part of the
if that's
bourgeoisie.
middle or working class.
He's part of the bourgeoisie. He's part of the manager group.
I suppose we'll have to what if when I put in hamster, it doesn't, the thing doesn't come out. The guy. Top Gear, for fuck's sake. Ah, there he is. All his three boys is Solihull, England. The grandson of workers in the Birmingham car industry. Yeah, okay, he's the working class one. He looks the poshest though.
He does. I think it's a new money thing though, like where he's become rich, and so he tries to fit in by going all in.
Yeah.
But like he has the most experience in cars because he like grew up with them.
Yeah. And he crashed
Several times.
Hey, Nemo!
He almost
Big
died
sis.
several times, and every time it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get back in the suit.
I'm gonna fucking do it again.
Hi.
Hello.
Big sis, welcome.
Welcome to
Yes,
the
hello.
stream. This is the stream.
It's purely video games at the moment. Well, I mean, we can talk a bit, but I've got really nothing to talk about apart from the fact that apparently Elon Musk wants to change the rules of Twitter where he's limiting what people can do without using Twitter Blue, and Twitter Blue will basically be
tweets
unlimited.
limit per day. Oh no! How am I gonna fucking be able to tweet enough?
Ah.
There was 2 red orbs last time. Why's it been moved to 3?
What a fucking idiot this guy is. Like, it's like the same with like the API thing where he's trying to make money. He's literally just the thing that capitalists do, where it's like, I'm gonna go in here and find places to extract profit from.
Yeah.
Without adding any value.
Yeah, without adding any value, or managing all of this in a manner that is in any way, shape, or form, smart. This is what do we have and how can we monetize it?
I'm gonna charge you for the lettuce,
I mean,
the tomato,
to be fair,
and the buns.
Fucking rent seekers, dude.
the one thing I will say is I've been noticing like the app and the website have started to kind of become a lot more trash.
Yeah, I found a lot more bugs in Twitter the past few months.
Oh no.
Yeah. Like,
Surprising, right?
this is kind of a pet peeve of mine, but like when I go on there, when I tap to see a tweet, if I go at the edge of my screen and then kind of like swipe from left to right, it should technically bring me back to what I was like looking at, right? The previous thing that I was looking at. It doesn't do that very well.
I don't know. Should it do
it's
that?
It's hard to explain.
Yeah. But I believe it though.
I don't use Twitter, so I have no idea.
I love Twitter.
I use Twitter purely for
thing
porn
in the
nowadays,
world.
or cute posting. I will warn you, if you do look at my Twitter, you will see horny posting in between posts of cuteness.
Mm.
And maybe the
Humans
occasional...
are complicated.
Hardly surprising, really.
I will say you might sometimes see an occasional political post.
Oh.
Possibly. Maybe.
I don't even know.
But
My Twitter is just bangers. That's all I.
Absolutely.
I weed them out. They're only bangers.
Yeah. It's bangers and underappreciated bangers. They just really didn't connect with their audience. That's the only thing. Yeah. Yeah, how are you all doing? What's been happening? What is the thing you wanted to gush about,
Well,
Posh?
right. So recently, I posted about this in Beatdowns by Chris Rock.
Truck.
A few a few weeks back, but basically, I've discovered this music genre called dungeon synths. Basically, it's a movement that grew out of the 1990s, late 1990s, if I recall correctly, basically branching out from heavy metal, but specifically black metal. And I mean, like Norwegian black metal and whatnot, the really gruesome shit. Like from bands like Mortis and, unfortunately, Varg Vikernes with his band Some fucking cunt. But yeah, and so basically it's taking the kind of like dark themes of black metal and kind of using synthesizers to play them. And it's very good, actually. Like recently, it's gotten a whole kind of small revival, quote unquote revival, I guess, because it's been going on since like the 1990s, but it's only recently kind of become kind of popular. And what I love about it is it takes the aesthetics of like really old fantasy shit, like fantasy movies, media, whatever, and kind of packages it in music. And like you can see this from like the cover of the albums, the album covers, basically, where it's like a lot of it is like really old pictures of like, fantasy medieval kind of illustrations and shit. Hang on, I'll try and find some actually good.
I have some pulled up here. They have like very fucking like 80s fantasy artwork energy.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Saucer. No, that's Theo. That's Theo of the Gay.
Hello.
But yeah. Anyways. So yeah, there's that one exactly. Yes. That is Bertsum one, but yes, that is good. There's also quite a few other ones like.
That guy reminds me of the lead singer of Ghost.
Yeah,
the one
he's
guy
a neo-Nazi pagan.
Priest.
He's a neo-Nazi pagan, basically. But yeah. Oh, here's a good one. It's not necessarily an album cover, but I'm just posting you a YouTube link.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also Cobbled, which is a great example of like taking
I mean, that's like almost sort of romanticist art, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like taking a lot of that shit, basically. Wait. Oh yeah, Old Sorcery is a great example.
I like that art. That art's pretty.
Yeah, but like, so it's very. You can tell the influence is very like medieval-ish, fantasy medieval-ish, right?
Yeah.
But recently, it started branching out a lot, where you've got like shit like desert synths, basically, kind of like taking the whole kind of like Arabian kind of vibes from old school games and just doing that, basically.
Yeah. I miss like 1001 Nights type stuff in these kinds of games.
There's a really good one I do highly recommend, Ziggurat, not Zig.
The word. Do you know what the word ziggurat means?
It's like a pyramid of some sort.
It's like my penis. Hello, Theo. Welcome to your first Fossil Thursday, by the way.
Thank you. Just woke up from a fucking nap and I'm exhausted.
Yeah, that's
From a nap?
terrible.
Nap makes you sleepy?
I feel that
it happens for some people. Also, yes, Alex, it is sort of like. God damn it! Why isn't it posting that link? God damn. Fuck you, Discord, fucking in bed.
No, it refuses.
There we go. Ziggurat. I don't know how you pronounce it.
They probably misspelled it on purpose. Actually, there was a specific techno genre from I think the late 90s called Muslim Gauze, or Muslim gauze. Yeah, it's spelled like this.
Yeah,
No,
let
it's
me
not
check.
spelled like this. I misspelled it.
I was like, wow, they misspelled Muslim.
Yeah, it's a part of the joke.
Misspelled.
It's like I think it's so obscure it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
Mm.
Although I'm going to test that just now and probably turn out that it does have a Wikipedia page.
Oh yeah, there's a German band from like the 70s, I think, which were also kind of very influential for dungeon synths. Cusco. or
Okay,
something
it
like
was
that.
it was a guy, but it was also a genre. I know this because there's several different artists who made similar types of songs, and it would sort of use, especially that kind of, because you mentioned this earlier, like the 1001 Nights stuff, the kind of Islamic, not necessarily even Islamic chants, but like just music from the Middle East, folk music from the Middle East, and make it into
Yeah.
like a techno thing, which I really thought was very moody, very atmospheric. But it was still in like that era where the Middle East had this air of the Oriental. Like it was in between it having this air of the Oriental, where you can, anything is possible here, like the hippie trail kind of shit, where it was all
Yeah.
about like freedom and free living and just being nice to people, and women, and very very scantily clad women associated with the Middle East, and like it being fucking like ISIS. You know what I mean?
Ow.
It was in that sort of grey area shortly before 9/11.
Ah,
It's the
I
All
90s.
before my time. Wonderful.
I do have to say though, the fuck? Oh right, yeah. Yeah. Then,
what were you saying? You have to say
Um,
something.
Yeah, I love Dungeon Synths a lot because it gets the vibe I want when I'm playing certain video games where I just cannot stand the music. Like this is especially prevalent for like some strategy games I play where it's just like the music is so boring, I just want something to kind of revitalize it, basically.
I'd like to
What?
point out that this is an actual YouTube thumbnail that has nipples in it, and that's why I can post it on
Oh.
here, because this is the actual.
Yeah.
If you put this into YouTube, the search engine, it spits this out. This is an actual album cover.
Okay, I'm the fuck.
We believe you.
I mean, I
the
just
one-
posted it. It's a really good album.
Mm.
Um,
The other thing I wanted to say is recently it's kind of branched out a lot with like subgenres. So like I talked about the desert synths, but there's one that I absolutely love because it's so hilariously good.
yeah.
Dino synth. Now, what do you think of?
Is that dinosaurs
what-
or some shit?
I was gonna ask, like, what do you think of when I tell you dino synth as a genre?
Like cyberpunk.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
Not necessarily. It takes the atmosphere of like, really old dinosaur media from like in between when filming started and until I think like the 70s to 80s, basically. When there was this whole kind of like, crazy speculation about dinosaurs, like, oh my god, they're fucking winged beings and whatnot, and the whole kind of process that came to like,
I mean, some of them have wings, sure.
Yeah,
No,
they
a lot
were
of them
probably
have.
mostly feathered, actually.
yeah. The whole process of them, like, having very different and wild theories about how
Talking about like
dinosaurs-
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. But basically just put that all into synthesized music and put it on an album cover and you've got dino synths. I absolutely love it. It's great because it reminds me so much of my childhood, like watching a lot of dino stuff.
Well,
Like,
the thing is, the way I remember this kind of thing is that it was mainly just like orchestral scores.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like
Yeah.
it's taking it. Oh my god. Land Before Time, holy shit, man.
Hey,
Like,
tree
I don't
stars.
I don't know what's been going on lately, but people, and I'm blaming this on you, Nemo, and you, Foreign.
I don't know
People,
about the
specifically
Nazis.
Nemo and Foreign, have somehow tried to make me relive my entire fucking childhood since birth.
Sir, listen. My childhood got shoved into my face, and I just needed to shove it into other people's faces.
My
I
I was
childhood
like, oh, did you used to
is-
watch Homeward Bound? Yes, of course you did, because it was the best movie. I watched it 13
fuck
times
you.
a day.
My childhood
hate
is
you.
far after y'all's childhoods, so yeah.
I hate you
Oh,
so
it
much. Neil.
sure is. If you were born after 9/11, I remember shit from way before you were.
One of the younger folks here on this. To be fair though, I like my partner is born after 9/11, which is still very strange to me.
I will say,
Hey,
hang on, I'll
what
post
is
some
happening?
Dino Sense. I'll
My
post some
biggest
Dino
mistake
Sense if
was
you want.
my biggest mistake was going back and watching what I was into as a kid, because I grew up when it was all about advertising
racist?
toys. Advertising toys to kids. And
Oh, did you watch Babes in Toyland?
Transformers, G.I. Joe, all that.
Yeah, it was like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Denver the Last Dinosaur, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, it
I mean,
was.
some of those are bangers though. Like,
I grew up on that stuff because my dad's Gen X, and he grew up on it. So yeah.
But no, like I went back. I went back and like I found like torrents of them. I went back to go watch them again. I'm like, this is fucking garbage. And it's just like full of animation errors that were like painfully obvious, and it's like, why is it so fucking garbage? It's
well,
like,
okay, back
they,
back in the day, they didn't have the technology, so like,
They
You're
also had to
talking
write
about, like-
this
entire-
was the 80s and 90s. This was after it was established for years. Like Disney and Warner Brothers put out fucking banger animation, and
This
then they
is
well,
before
yeah,
the
but that
scene in
animation
RoboCop.
takes a long ass time. So like, if they're making a
yeah,
show,
got
they need to
toys
cut
and stuff.
corners.
They needed
Yeah, they
the
got-
scene
they
in
got-
RoboCop
got-
that says we have the technology, and that hadn't happened yet, so that's why.
We
Yeah,
have
they-
You also gotta
technology.
remember a lot.
Yeah,
You also gotta
they needed
remember.
to train me. They needed to train me to bully my parents into buying toys.
Well, you also gotta remember a lot of these were originally miniseries, not entire TV shows, and they were just last second. Oh yeah, here, this is a big TV show now. Get us the entire series in like a month.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
yeah. So I just want to quickly post about one of my favorites that I've recently discovered that only just got posted. Cancel Siege. Highly recommend it if you ever want to feel like you're in an old ass RPG / point and click adventure.
I'll go to the Renaissance Fair.
No, listen to Cancel Siege. Listen to Cancel
I
Siege.
love that
Highly
this is like
recommend
one
it.
of the most old-looking album covers, and then it says 2023, and it's in the Dungeon Synth archives. Like
Yes.
2023 it's not even
No.
like
I will
The layers.
25 years
Dungeon.
old yet. Like it's
The
a
Dungeon
child
Synth-
still.
Yeah, but like the great thing about a lot of these albums is recently a lot of these artists have started commissioning their own album covers
Nice.
from like legitimate artists, and a
I
lot
hope
of them do amazing work. A lot like this one is amazing to me because it gives me that nostalgic vibe.
As opposed to what? Do they just take pictures from the internet and make a cover out of
No,
it?
they
Like,
use like open source free images from the internet, from what I understand, or like art from like really old times.
The olden days. I really, honestly, I think I sometimes
Or
think I
maybe
should
they
have gotten
use
into
AI.
music instead of whatever the fuck it is I got
YouTubing.
into.
whatever I'm into it is now.
Because I
Listen,
like music. I like it.
Yeah.
It
Like, you like
feels-
to make
Yeah.
it, or
No, I
one of
see.
your-
This is the thing. When I was a kid, I was never allowed to learn an instrument because my grandparents didn't want to deal with that shit. And in boys' home, they knew I would basically like play the instrument,
And be
that
loud,
would,
yeah?
Yeah, that would annoy everyone else. So at some point, they were like, "You should go there. You can sing probably. We have a choir." It's like this is a Catholic.
I was
boys'
also
home.
forced into.
I have
they tried to
seen the
make you a
news.
choir boy.
I have seen the news. I am not going into the choir of the Catholic boys' home. Thank you very much. This was when all that shit was like coming out majorly for
Yeah,
the.
Oh yeah.
You're
yeah.
like, no thanks. I'll pass on
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, and I was a big fan of The Simpsons, and you know, honest to God, I picked up playing the saxophone because of Lisa. Like
Based.
I wanted to learn how to play saxophone.
Based.
Life
the thing
imitates
was-
art.
Well, the problem was like I got enrolled in band class and in the and doing all that, and I fucking hated it because it was just all regimented. It was just like, can I just play what I want? And it's like, no,
That's
you
why
have to
people
learn.
hate playing saxophone, because like they don't get the solos that like the cool jazz saxes get. They're just
Yeah,
Yeah, you wanted
Yeah,
to play
it's just-
jazz, but you had to play big band. I mean,
no, and it's like literally the intro of fucking The Simpsons is what eventually happened to me. I just was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I just got out of bands, and so it was just literally
I never
like
had
Lisa
the money
walking-
for an instrument, so I was in choir.
Well, it's like
I-
my dad paid for my saxophone, and
Yeah,
you know, and
You don't
eventually
say.
yeah, of course. And eventually he got me like private lessons, and I did that until like high school.
oh, middle
just-
class.
I love music myself. I just could never see myself playing an instrument for some reason.
I actually own a fairly good e-piano that I bought after 10 years of wanting to get one, and now I am never playing it because of it requires the literal most basic amount of setup.
And I refused.
That's not gonna happen. I like becoming aware of how important it is to me to like not have to set shit up.
Yeah.
I have become a lot more productive in a lot of different areas. Like I need everything ready at my workstation at the point of like needing it. And being able to organize my home in this manner has really helped me a lot. But at the same time, you know, you need
Yeah.
more space. Like you need a little more space.
You got to use that big burger brain to set up, and you just don't have the time for it.
Yeah, it's just I'd have to fucking put it somewhere, and that's
Expending
I've-
energy
I've-
is
I've-
tiresome.
yeah.
I've honestly thought about doing what Dank Pods has done and just like lease a garage and just like do all my dumb stupid shit that I always wanted to do there. Because like I can't really do it because I live in an apartment building, so I can't really play any instruments. I don't have a
As long
whole
as you
lot
have
of
the
room.
resources.
Yeah.
Mm.
Plus, it's like I just want to like work on. I just want to buy shitty cars and like work on them.
Well, yeah, you're definitely gonna need a garage for that.
Yeah.
Mm.
You should put them in your bathroom. Actually, you should put all the cars in the tub.
That actually reminds me, when I was young, our teacher had us like we did a field trip to the mall, and we helped them put those cars together. That were, they had do like the showcase cars like inside the mall,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, this is how they get the cars in the
Wait,
building.
that's how they get the cars in the building?
Heck yeah!
They assemble them in there?
Children assemble them.
No, they have special doors they come in through. They don't disassemble them. Come on. now.
Sometimes they do. They
No,
absolutely
actually,
do.
I remember this was like way before the internet. I remember reading it was like I read it in like an epic like prank book, and they had like pictures of it and everything where this office staff wanted to pull a prank on their boss's birthday, so they disassembled his VW Beetle and then reassembled it in his office.
Yeah, there's a different version of that where they like punch a hole into a wall and then roll the car and then fix the wall and paint it and shit.
You could do that.
That's a
I
legendary
mean, that
one.
is a one way.
It's probably like
Wait.
from a technical, like from a complexity level, it's probably simpler than disassembling and reassembling an automobile.
It would be. It would actually be much simpler, even though it was a VW Beetle,
Yeah.
which is a very simple car to begin with. Wait, I think
but
I
it
told
would
this story.
put up like a material cost because you'd be destroying shit, and you can't like knock over the wall and then just use the wall you just knocked over to repair it. But
Also,
with the,
yeah. Also, well, if it's like a load-bearing wall, then you got a whole other
yeah.
Yeah.
stack
That'd be a fucking
problems.
epic
That's-
prank, dude. Fucking.
Wait, I don't know if I told this. I probably told this story on the stream before about when I was in Florida, when I was living in Florida, and my friend had a meth head friend. It was like a friend of a friend who was a meth addict.
Yeah.
And I think so he had like a Camaro with a like a T-top with like an open top Camaro.
Yeah.
And he was a meth head, and
How can you afford that if he was a meth head?
he was in the military, and then he got out of the military with a big bonus package. So he was living on his own. So he had an apartment where his garage was right underneath his apartments, and he got the bright. I remember we went over to his place one day. I forgot what we were doing. We didn't get. I don't think he got meth, but I don't know. We were over there. And we go in and we see a massive hole in his living room. Like he fucking smashed a hole through the floor of his living room into his garage. And we asked him, "Why the fuck did you do this?" And he said, "It's in case I need to make an escape," because he thought I could
Just
jump
into
from
the
my
car.
just jump into the car and just go, in case like I don't know, like the Men in Black show up or something.
A minute to get his meth? Like, what is he? What?
Meth addicts, they get an idea, and
I'm aware.
They are just entirely committed to that idea.
That's the fucking grind set right there. People should start doing meth.
Honestly, drug addicts, they will get that money.
Oh yeah, I have like there's like a story about a guy who used to be like a heroin addict who talks about fucking if I had worked as hard at literally anything that wasn't getting heroin, I'd be like a millionaire.
Right.
Which is kind of bullshit because if you think about it, hard work is an optional component to like getting rich.
Right?
Yeah.
The thing that you need is luck.
True.
Because you can be lucky and not hardworking and be rich, but you can't be hardworking and not lucky and be rich.
Yeah.
That's the that's the wisdom of the day.
Yeah.
Take that
'cause
one
it's
home.
like,
Put that in a fortune cookie.
Yeah. This it's just like a very just every and it's just fucking leftist.
It's in there.
fortune cookie. You can be luck.
Yeah,
I mean,
and,
there's luck and also you can put in the work.
Be like, yeah, it's a totally different language. I don't understand it.
Can't do both. Just think it's like poorly translated. It's like, no, he just didn't know what the fuck he was trying to say. Yeah.
The brain was slower than
Yeah.
the words.
Yeah.
What were we just talking about?
I don't know.
Putting
I
automobiles
was
in
talking
people's...
about living in Florida, which is
Oh yeah, your
And
meth
it's not
friend.
Holy shit, what?
yeah. Well, no, met friend of a friend. He
Yeah,
wasn't
well-
my friend.
Your meth acquaintance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was in the bad part of Florida. This was up in like
Like all of it.
Pensacola.
Is there a
Palm
good
Beach.
part of Florida? Like,
There is not.
No,
I mean, I
there
guess
really isn't.
If you count the Keys, I guess you could argue.
I
the island-
really like the aesthetic of the Florida Keys. I know
Yeah.
it's like bourgeois fucking racist shit, but like goddamn. But I love the tropics.
You got the beautiful Keys architecture, the nice weather, the raft full of refugees out in the distance.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
The
it's a very nice
ambiance.
aesthetic. Yeah, it's a very nice ambiance.
I'm back.
Hello.
I actually wanted-
Hello, back.
Actually-
I am front.
Oh.
Let's get over here into America and prove it then.
What?
Ooh,
So,
someone's getting spicy.
No, he has to come to Hollywood if he comes to America.
There's actually, if I had to choose one city in America, I would choose New Orleans. Like,
It's
Really,
the
it doesn't
funnest.
sound too bad.
yeah,
okay, that's fair.
it's fucked up. I mansplained something recently to a lawyer.
Oh no.
Because she was like, well, U.S. law. This was like specifically about Louisiana, and this is like, well, the U.S. Court system is like all common law, weird shit. And I was like, well, actually, specifically, only the state of Louisiana has a mix of civil and common law.
You
Because-
actually a lawyer.
They're French, and she's actually a lawyer, but I knew this because I'd done a video on it. And she also wasn't like a lawyer in American law; she's a German lawyer. But that felt.
okay.
It's fucked up because I'm like very of like the very specific things that I know about. Sometimes it's like people who do that shit for a living. Whereas I don't know more about them than them about that thing,
I just
obviously.
know this thing.
But I just know this particular thing. And then it's like very difficult to convince them that that's the case. And they feel like shit when they Google it. It's like, no, this means nothing. I don't know anything else about it is that you do. But I do know that.
Just lording over your
Yeah.
obscure, minute detail knowledge.
Yes, it's just...
I mean, you're like, well, you're wrong, and then they look at you, and you're like, no, seriously, and you Google it, and you're like, look at all this shit, look at all the sources here that say that I'm right.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
No, it's an
Well, I mean-
amazing feeling, and then they're like, oh shit, maybe I should learn more about myself. I'm like, yeah, maybe you fucking should.
Yeah, but
They
I'm
maybe
a cis white man, you know what I mean? I
you-
can't get away with shit like that no more, you know?
No,
Yeah.
you're a Renaissance man like me. You have a surface level knowledge of a lot of things, and no deep knowledge of anything.
I do reckon perhaps with the way AI is developing, there will be a sort of renaissance of the Renaissance man type person. Because a lot of hyper-specific tasks are being taken over by AI, but the
Right.
interdisciplinary approach to all of these things, that's just something that AI is probably never going to be particularly good at, or never be as good at as like humans are, with that degree of ease. So like understanding how the specific kinds of AI work, and interfacing those with each other, and like cross-referencing the different knowledge bases that you have, I reckon is going to have a bit of a resurgence, as opposed to the hyper-specialized society we have today.
AI.
Well, what I know, like the people who are completely fucked by AI are the people who are like corporate artists and copywriters. They
yeah.
are just
Oh yeah, for
they're
sure.
done. They're
It's crazy because copywriters used to be some of the like most high-paid writers like per word, and they're just fucked now. Like
Oh, yeah,
overnight, their entire it's the fucking VO artists too. I don't think they're gonna like that industry is gonna change significantly with like how this recent. I mean, I've seen all the Dagoth edits, right?
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
They're fucking insane.
Oh yeah, it's fucking nuts. But it's like,
The
yeah,
right-
you're right, because like Shigesato Itoi, he's the creator of the Earthbound series, He started out as a copywriter. That's actually what he's more famous for, is as a copywriter than as a video game designer.
How do you
What did he
get famous
copyright?
as a copywriter?
What
You
is
literally
Yeah,
write
I-
copy.
Yeah, he wrote copy.
What was he
also
fucking Don Draper?
I mean, he was that actually Shigesato Ito is actually a Renaissance man. He's done TV shows, he's done movies, he's written books. He
Hell
has a
yeah.
popular blog that he updates. He's updated since like 1997. He's
He
written
designed
copy.
that- He also
go
designed
ahead.
that one. He designed that one journal that the 1 year Dungeon 365 is using.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
He designed several like workplace journals and planners and shit like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And like, yeah. So before like Earthbound and like the Mother series was even an idea, he was already famous, and he was like, I want to design a video game, and he had this really cool idea for a video game, and like he actually just went to Nintendo and he pitched the idea to Nintendo, and they said it was a terrible idea, and he specifically says that like he walked out of Nintendo like crying.
Damn.
I would too.
And then yeah.
Like, as an
eventually, I
artist, and they're like, hey, I have this really cool idea, I love it, and they're like, that's a shit idea,
Yeah,
I'd
that
just start
fucking
crying.
sucks.
Yeah, and then he talked to shoot, I forgot the guy's name, the one Nintendo guy that passed away in 2015.
Shiba Inu. No, that was the. That's
I like
Maybe.
Shibas.
No, that's a dog.
the
It's my favorite
bananas.
dog.
The bananas one. The guy. with-
Iwata.
Iwata.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Awada, yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking,
He actually,
I
like,
fucking hate that.
I
name.
think
I just for the record, I genuinely, my head was like, I was like, oh yeah, it's the bananas guy, Shiba Inu. This was not a racist joke. It was just me actually thinking that was his name.
Yeah,
Actually racist burger. How could you?
It wasn't a joke. It was like actual. This is for real now.
This is just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think his original idea was like, okay, we got an RPG and it's set in modern day America and there's aliens, and like they were like, what the fuck?
Okay, this is a side thing, but did you play the beginning of Ni no Kuni 2?
No.
Oh,
That
yeah,
sounds
Literally,
racist.
okay, so the
That's so
president is in a
insane.
limo
Right.
heading towards like Tokyo, and then bombs drop on Tokyo and he gets transported to like a different world, and they never address it. Like, they never go
Yeah.
back. He's magically like 20 years younger. And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
why
it's-
was this so violent? Why did you have to bomb a city to get this guy into the past?
It's such a
Some time travel.
nuts. It's such a nuts intro. And I think it's like, no, Tokyo was nuked. Like,
Yeah,
Legitimately.
Literally.
nuked.
like
It
the
was
the missile went past the limo, and I just
yeah. It's just like,
So,
it's just
hold
like,
on,
yeah,
they-
you're the U.S. president in Tokyo. Tokyo gets nuked, and now you're like a young.
President.
You're an isekai.
you're
an
a young
isekai.
dude, and you're the only one with a gun.
so it's a guy.
Yeah, how someone
You-
couldn't take
you-
over the world with a
I just-
Well, you're the,
It
Yeah,
was so
you're the
disconnected
only-
from like the main part of the game that I just
Do they? Is that like a significant part of what? Because I know there's this like anime genre where it's like, oh well, somebody died, and now this is a completely different universe they're in.
Yeah,
And
it's called
whoever
called
they
isekai.
used to be is literally
Isekai.
never referenced again.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
isekai. It's
Yeah.
it's overly it's overly
it's
saturated.
too popular. Yeah,
It's fucked
Yeah.
up that is popular. Honestly,
yeah.
it
It's
says
true.
a lot
Yeah,
about
I-
bottom text.
Listen, I just want
As
traditional
bad-
fantasy anime again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm like, it's really like bad writing.
go
Like
ahead.
they couldn't come up with like a story beginning, so they were like, let's just do this one and then just completely change it.
Story beginning is the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, well,
Despite how oversaturated that genre is, one of my favorite all-time animes is Konosuba. Just because
Gross.
it is an
Yeah.
it is an isekai, but it's
Isekai.
basically isekai. Sorry, isekai.
This is with the
It's
French when
pretty
you
much-
mispronounce their food.
It's
Excuse
it's
me,
always
this pronounced
sunny.
isekai?
It's the closest thing. It's the closest thing to Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like as an anime. It's just
Based.
it's the nerdy isekai dude, a goddess, a wizard, and like this dumb broad, and they're just all four of them are just psychopaths, and they
It
just like
literally is. It's always sunny.
they just
as an
launch a
anime,
raid.
right.
They just launch a reign of terror on this like fantasy RPG world.
Base.
Like,
Yeah.
like there's one episode where like the wizard, she's like
the fire wizard or the water wizard?
the fire
water-
wizard. She's obsessed with like having like a really awesome like explosion spell, but she's not very good at it. So, the isekai dude goes with her out into the woods, and they're like, okay, we're gonna help you practice and get better at using your explosive spell. And they see off in the distance there's this old abandoned castle, and they decide we're gonna blow up that castle every day, until you get better. And they do it every single day. They go out and she like blows up the castle, and they do this over and over again. All of a sudden, this like demon lord shows up at the town with a huge ass army, like ready to wreck shit up. And all he does is like he begs them to stop blowing up his castle.
That does sound like Always Sunny, actually. That's fucking...
I'm sure he just described me.
in my mind, Always Sunny is a concluded show, but I don't think it is, right? It's still running. They're still making new seasons.
It's still going.
Yeah.
They're
There's
I'm
still
gonna have to get my hands on some new seasons then, because it's been a while since I've seen it.
They started a podcast where they go back in time and like look at old episodes.
I love that
From, like,
No,
behind
the
the scenes.
only thing that they regret doing is the name of the episode D is dating a retarded person. Like Glenn Howerton was like, yeah, we really regret that. It's like, are you for real? Is the thing? This is gonna be.
I've been watching some episodes recently, and they have one episode. This really shows just how they're just the characters are just unrepentant psychopaths, because they get it in their mind that there's this one random guy who I forgot what it was. He like did one of them dirty or something, or he has like info on them that can make him look bad or something. So they try to track the guy down, and they find him, and in the process, like they get all these cockamamie plans about like going into his apartments and like doing all this shit in his apartment, and each time they end up running away, and they always hit the guy's car.
Yeah.
When they leave, they always hit the guy, and the guy's car gets more and more damaged throughout the episode. Finally, something happens where the car just ends up getting blown up, and you see the guy running out, and he's like, "Why is this happening? This is my favorite car. Who keeps doing this to me?" And they get like a closer look at the guy, and they're like, "Oh, that's not him. Oh, we got the wrong guy." And
That definitely sounds like.
I just yesterday I played City of Mist for the very first time, like as a player. I've run this game like countless times at this point, but I finally got to play it myself, and it was great. However, most of the adventure, what we did was beat up teenagers, which reminded me of that scene from Always Sunny where they beat the shit out of those fucking teenage boys.
Oh, damn.
All right, so hear me out. Hear me out. a campaign. By the way, there is a Konosuba RPG.
No.
Oh yeah. I've heard about.
No.
I've heard about it.
I reject
It's
this
not
idea
that-
entirely.
It's not that good.
It's not. It's not, but it's funny.
I actually,
I'm gonna have to-
while we're talking about like D&D, not fucking. There's a specific. My mind is confused now.
Oh, what tabletop are you
but
talking
Always
about?
Sunny and exactly Shadowrun. Okay.
Oh god.
No. You listen to me. You listen to me, right? You fucking listen to me.
No.
I'm gonna fucking you will never be able to unsee this. Very
No.
particular cover of a specific Shadowrun sourcebook. And
No.
I'm assuming this is gonna take a while to load for all of you.
No.
Because it is certainly
there it is.
taking quite a while to load
Why
for
not?
me.
Mm.
Oh, here it comes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I
Run.
can see it.
That
Run,
is
gun.
always.
Oh yeah,
That's
Shadowrun,
always
Run and
sunny.
Gun.
Look at those people.
Especially
Look at
the
him.
elf.
That
Like,
Look.
especially what the fuck?
I know, right?
This
What
has
the
This has
to-
to be. This had to take.
They li-
Did they
That's
get
Frank.
transported?
I mean,
Frank,
just look
that's
at. You
the-
can't properly see it on the stream, probably, but the Shadowrun Run and Gun Combat Core rulebook. Look at those fucking people, and tell me that this is.
No,
it
that's Frank. That's Frank on the left.
It's Frank. It's fucking. It's
Alex
fucking
just saw it.
Glenn
Alex
Howard's
saw it.
character. It's Charlie's the only one that's missing for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
The black woman does look a bit like the actress who played in Conan. You know, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan.
But she looks like fucking the gay one. Completely forget his
Bruh.
name.
Mac.
Yeah, she looks like Mac.
Yeah, she does. Holy shit.
It's fucking insane. Like they literally just look like they're the gang.
The guys.
It's the gang.
Oh my god.
This is yeah.
So I actually have a question for each of you,
Yeah.
if that's okay. What's the worst RPG you've ever read or ran?
Rifts.
Shadowrun.
Fatal.
You mean just like rule wise, or like
A session.
Just
I'm
have
just
bad-
assuming, yeah, in general.
In general.
Yeah, for me it was Rifts. That was. And what I think made it worse is that I was playing with my uncle,
Oh.
and yeah,
I don't play with
was,
my family.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Never played with family.
Oh,
I
here
would
it is. I
say-
found it.
No, I really,
Okay.
I don't have any like running experiences that are really bad personally. But
So I
system
remember
wise, it's like
downloading this
Shadowrun.
from I remember downloading this from Alternate History
Yeah.
subreddit. If the gang was real,
Hey.
that's all true. That's all absolutely true. What they
Yeah.
committed.
It really is. The
One of
gang.
my
Yellow
favorite
man
episodes of Always
committed to-
Sunny is when Charlie finds out Frank isn't his dad. That was great.
Damn.
Oh my god. That's beautiful, man.
There
Absolutely.
was an episode where Dee was pregnant, and they had to figure out who and she swore that it was like somebody, one of the four other guys who was like the father. And
Yeah.
it's like you're related to two of them.
I mean, to be fair, with these people,
It
Yeah,
could go either way.
yeah,
yeah.
that means nothing. Like, and I mean,
Look at Dean,
she's
look
not
at the
blood related to
cover.
Frank, so he's not really her dad.
Yeah, but still, it's like the social taboo is
Yeah.
still there. Plus, it's Frank.
I mean, Danny DeVito is the hottest guy on TV.
Absolutely.
Danny
He's
DeVito can get it. Danny DeVito can get it.
he's a
I mean,
special character.
there was that one episode where he became like, what's it when you're afraid of germs? Hypochondriac? No, not
Germaphobe?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
germaphobe, yeah.
Hypochondriac.
No, he became a germaphobe, and he ended up like shaving his entire body,
So he
And,
was
like,
pure.
bathing himself in hand sanitizer, and you just see him on the floor, just like
I just
looking like
want
a
to be
giant
pure.
baby.
Every
I
time
just
I
want-
see him in like a situation, it just reminds me of how like he's an old man now, and he's still like really funny.
Yeah.
He's
a
in
good
his
comedian.
70s. Yeah, he's still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good
you
And I
would
was like,
kind of
if
heard.
Disney's gonna make a real life Hercules, do it now before he fucking dies.
He's
No,
never
like
gonna die.
it's already started filming.
He's
It's already started.
actually a mystical dwarf. They're immortal.
That would be great.
I fucking hate.
Him and Keanu.
It's like, you know that meme of like, oh, one day, I know because I am so young, one day I will watch the news and it will say J.K. Rowling died, which is something that was said many, many years ago and meant in a very different way than people
A very
mean it
different
today.
context.
This is
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
fucking Danny DeVito died. I mean, I
Man.
found out last
Yeah.
year that fucking. Oh my god, this is one of my favorite comics, and I forget his name. Norm Macdonald.
Oh,
Yeah.
I found out he
yeah.
died like half a year after he died because I was on vacation when he passed away.
Mm.
That was fucking.
And nobody knew after the fact.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, everyone's into Norm now. That's great. He's having a bit more of a resurgence. He's such a
And
great
then you found
comic.
out he died.
And then
I-
you're like,
yeah.
oh.
And it was because he had died that everyone was like, for months, just posting. I didn't even know he was sick.
There's more when you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same happened with Robin Williams when he passed
Man,
away.
that hurt.
Oh
like,
fuck! I loved
That
Robin
really-
Williams.
yeah, that
after
really-
I
he
was
died.
watching like old movies for like a couple of days. I was eating snack. It was a bad time.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you hear that Zelda
Yeah.
Williams is getting into voice acting and acting?
That's cool. Good for
Ooh.
her.
We gonna
His daughter.
have actually
Ah.
like. a
Which is called
generation-
Zelda?
Her name is Zelda, yeah.
He
Yeah,
loved
yeah.
Zelda
Yeah.
apparently.
He was
Yeah,
such a
like
big.
the game,
He played
the game.
Shadowrun. He played Legend of Zelda.
He was
No,
a
he
cool
played
man.
Robin Williams played Shadowrun?
And
Yeah,
Yeah.
Robin Williams was a big
Robin Williams
tabletop
was
and video
super
game
based.
fan. Yeah.
Sure.
What was it? 1 hour photo. He like his character. The character he played was like a big fan of Neon Genesis Evangelion, and
Oh,
he
yeah,
like
he also-
pulled up. Yeah,
Okay,
he
but that
pulled up,
was
like,
the one where he was a
trivia.
murderer. Like, come on now.
Yeah, but still, it showed
like Robin
he
Williams,
knew what. Oh, go ahead.
he also played vampire in World of Darkness. Funnily enough.
What?
Fucking God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
he sure did.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Robin. I have to Google all this. Williams Shadowrun. Robin Williams. Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah, he's done a lot.
Robin Williams nude. I mean, Fig Newtons. Fig Newtons. That is insane. Holy shit.
But yeah, even Nintendo, like, I forgot which Legend of Zelda game, but they actually had like Zelda Williams, do a commercial for him
Damn.
as
Twilight
herself.
Princess.
Okay, it was like talking. She was like talking about how she would play the games with her dad and everything. It was really I mean, it was a commercial, but it was really kind of touching.
He's from
That's
like the
because-
generation where that was still considered like an extremely weird thing, though. Like nowadays, you
yeah.
have a
Yeah.
lot of famous people who are like absolute sex symbols and fucking
But
just
yeah.
mainstream. I mean, not. I mean,
Henry
Robert
Cavill.
Williams. He was mainstream famous, but like it's a thing people do now to sort of boost their celebrity status. All right, that's a
Yeah.
bit cynical. I do think they're genuine fans, but it's like nowadays it's not something you keep secret. Like when you're Joe Manganiello and you're like a D&D nerd.
Like
It's
when you
like-
get bullied in high school.
Yeah. It's like no, look,
Yeah.
look at me, motherfucker. I am made of abs.
Yeah, but Robin Williams was a huge tabletop fan, so
Yeah. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
learning that. I was like, you know what? I'm actually a fan now. Like, sure, he was like a Disney guy, but like now, I'm like,
I
Okay.
don't know, fucking he was you know.
I mean, he had Mrs. Doubtfire. He had Good Morning Vietnam.
that's true. I
Patch
didn't watch that
Adams.
one when I was young, though. So
Did you not watch that as a child?
Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire was
I
such
actually
a good movie, though.
I've never seen a single Disney like children's movie, but I did see instead of that like a bunch of adult films, like not pornography, but my grandma made me watch like just like serious, fucking The Color Purple shit like that.
damn.
Yeah, it's
Really?
So
fucking.
your grandmother made you suffer.
I remember that like we watched Powder for some reason. Like that's a fucking sad as shit film.
My mom. Okay, no, they started calling me like Sybil when I was like 11.
Yeah.
My parents. And I was like, I don't understand what the fuck this. So we went to the library. We rented the movie Sybil, and they left me alone in a room to watch this movie about this like this DID suffering like multiple personality, like someone who gets like super abused by her mother. And I'm like, wow,
What the fuck?
what?
That's
Yeah.
inappropriate as fuck. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
let's take this little girl, show her Skinamarink. Let's fucking do that. What the
Oh
shit,
man,
dude?
Skinamarink. So
What's Skinamarink?
It-
Oh,
it's a horror. It's an experimental horror movie. Actually, I think Wendigoon made the best example of how like the horror works. At least for people like me and him, it's the feeling you got when you were a kid, and you like fell asleep in the living room like late at night with your parents, and then for some reason your parents had to leave to go do something. And you just wake up in the middle of the night, with the TV on, and
they're
like,
gone.
and they're gone, and all of a sudden, this place you've known your entire life to be a safe space is just suddenly very different. And
It's void.
Yeah, that's like a good basis for like what I feel like the horror is in Skinamarink. As a base.
I'm not a horror guy. I don't really like horror films. I hated Skinamarink for all of the right reasons. That shit was that's a genuinely disturbing film.
So
It is
Yeah,
incredible
yeah.
that Skinamarink
Okay.
will be the introduction to the analog horror genre for many people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got
totally.
a 2.2 rating.
For those
Did it
watching-
actually get a 2.2 rating?
That's what it says on Google.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, I don't care. I really enjoyed it, and like, it's like something new. It's
Yeah, no, I think
different.
it's a great film, personally. I just fucking hate
I
it.
just like the.
Yeah, like it's like that. It's like that one painting I posted in the creepy shit channel, of the dog just staring into the dark doorway.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah, that's why I saw that. Yeah, I was like, somebody posted a Skinamarink
Like, it's
recently,
just
but I
like-
wasn't sure who.
No, the picture itself is not that scary. It's a dog. It's a painting of a dog staring at a dark doorway.
Yeah, but it's
And it's
the,
like-
this is a thing that I think a lot of people, I think a lot of artists don't understand, is that the potential of something is always much greater than the realization of that potential.
Yeah.
So when you have that
Yeah.
dark room, what you're playing with, the scary thing that you're showing, isn't like a scary thing, but the potential of the scary thing. And
Yeah,
no
the
scary thing is
potential
ever
scary.
going to
So
be
what
that
I'm
scary.
hearing is the most terrifying
just
thing
the-
we could imagine is what's outside of Burger's camera when he's making videos.
That's true.
That's the thing he's always looking at. Like a cat looks at ghosts.
Yeah.
he's just Burger is just sitting pants off on a monoblock chair, and the risk of like his balls getting trapped between the plastic slots is like always there. That's the horror.
Yeah.
He's looking at the ghost of the people who raised him, just staring at him disappointedly.
Oof.
I think that was
But
the
yeah.
reality. I'm sure they just looked like that.
But like, like
This one
I'm sorry,
guy's
I hope I
review is
didn't go
like
too
5
far.
stars, and all it says is hardly any dialogue.
Which is
I'm
true.
sorry.
You know.
I hope I didn't go too far.
That one.
Wait,
I
no,
don't think
no,
I'm really
don't worry.
spoiling it. It's with the toy phone. Where you see the toy phone in the dark, and then the kid shines a light on the toy phone, and you see it's just a toy phone. But
Yeah.
every time you see it in the dark, it just looks like a horrible. It's like that's like something straight out of my childhood.
I
Just seeing
wonder-
something in the dark.
If that particular shot was actually like a low light version of that toy, or if there was some kind of effects fuckery with it.
I'm
Possibly
thinking.
effects
I'm
fuckery.
thinking what they might have done is either like digitally, or they may have just like painted on a little bit of like glow in the dark paints.
Is it the one that looks like a clown?
Yeah, the clown phone.
Yeah,
I've had that one when I was young.
I don't
Yeah,
They
even-
were here. They were
yeah,
everywhere
the-
around here.
That's a Fisher Price toy.
So
yeah, that,
Oh yeah, rubber grenade.
I remember having
I
like.
looked in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go
No,
ahead.
go
I
ahead.
was not going to say anything.
I've
He
looked
just
into
talks
this
to
one
talk.
RPG that's really fucking creepy called Cult.
Like a tabletop?
Yeah.
That I always find that difficult doing a scary tabletop RPG.
Because no
It's
one takes
lore.
it seriously.
Yeah, you need to be
So
with a very
it-
specific group of people.
Yeah, it's basically Gnostic ideas,
Yeah.
sort of taken
yeah,
and
that's a problem.
made into like a Cthulhu Mythos-esque situation.
Hell yeah.
Because like we play Call of Cthulhu and we try to make it very like atmospheric. We got like a bunch of like stuff to make the room like dark, and we got like
Yeah.
the noise, the ambient music, and then still someone else is like, okay, I'm gonna go fuck a hooker, and we're like,
It
My
just
dude.
takes
Yeah.
one person to
So
fucking
it's my
ruin
honest
the vibe.
opinion that this is
yeah.
this is like a symptom I see with a lot of newer RPG players. In my opinion.
I
Murder
don't know.
hobo?
I feel like the old ones do this as well. Sometimes. I think it has a lot to do with it's kind of. It can be very uncomfortable to like actually get into a character and play that character.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it's going to be like a complex character who has like flaws and weaknesses.
And horror, and especially
Yeah.
like I tried to play a racist character once, and everyone got mad at me, and I was like, I'm not
Just
doing
trying
it to
to.
just like be like, oh man,
Yeah.
F black people, but like it's the 50s.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
It's also, I mean, it can feel uncomfortable as a player. I think it's always a very interesting thing to explore. But also, like, especially when you're then playing horror, a lot of the horror genre lives from like you being vulnerable to shit.
Yeah. And like there's this new push in RPGs to like not be to be super powerful as characters from what I've seen. Like that could have always been a thing, but it's spreading past D&D in my opinion. Like I'm younger than you all.
I don't really play D&D.
I used to.
Really,
and then-
really, I think I just wanted to mention, like, I think the best game that does horror is actually about the Holocaust. It's called Charnel Houses of Europe.
The
Showa.
Wraith supplement. The Wraith supplement. Yep. Mhm.
But yeah, in Charnel Houses, you play as a kid in various points in time
Oh, no.
during the Holocaust.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Oh.
sound
And-
like a fun time.
Yeah.
It's not.
I
it's
play
not a
games to
fun-
have fun.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's
but-
not a fun. It's meant to be an educational.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I don't like
RPG.
playing games where you a kid or a teenager. I don't like that
Yeah.
personally. But I think that's
Yeah.
But that's the exact kind of shit that a lot of the potential that you can have with the RPG space. Yeah, and also I feel like I do a lot of one shots with people who are virtually like strangers to each other, or like they see each other like maybe once a week at like the uni RPG club.
Yeah.
And it can be like actually role playing with other people in a way that makes you like emotionally vulnerable. It's not actually that easy.
No.
Like you need to sort of get out of
Especially
yourself.
like people you don't know.
Yeah.
It's way worse.
And it's again, it usually just takes one person in a group who's uncomfortable, even with the idea of others doing like RPG stuff in a way that does offer like a certain extent of emotional vulnerability and genuineness, that they will just make it like funny.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of
Yeah.
destroys the
And just
vibe very
ruin it.
easily. Yeah.
Like I just don't like. So if the game's not meant for comedy, I don't like too much comedy. Like
Yeah.
That's usually like in the zero. You discuss it. The DM is like, so we're trying to
Oh,
be
yeah.
serious here. We're not.
so. You all might have seen me mentioning in the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I can hold.
Yeah.
I've been talking a lot, and I just don't.
Just
want to be
keep
talking.
talking.
Me too. Just keep talking.
Just
it's
keep
fine.
talking.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
I
keep
actually
talking,
discovered
just
recently
talking.
the Transformers RPG,
Yeah.
and they have one of the best sections on Session Zeros I've ever seen. It's only like 2 paragraphs. of
It's
history.
actually a bit surprising, to be honest, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the writing is actually really good in the book.
Uh-huh.
It straight up says, before you do anything in character creation, sit down with your players, step 0, session 0. Discuss the tone you want from the game, how you want to play. If you want to emulate more the 80s cartoon or more the IDW comics or more like the Bay movies. How you want to go through and design your characters, and whether or not you want seriousness and tone.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
My rule as a game master is always that you can make whatever jokes you want to make around the table. I will make that too. And I'm also very crucially not one of those GMs who's like, oh, you just said you would do that thing, so now you do it. If it's like something clearly ridiculous.
Yeah.
But don't make jokes in game just because they would be funny out of game.
Yeah, that's my mindset.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my mindset.
Yeah.
Like even
That's
it's
a good-
even
that's a
fine
good
to
mindset
do
to have.
to make jokes in game because even people like in stressful situations they make jokes with each other.
Yeah.
But they don't just
But
do
don't-
shit because they think it would be funny as like players.
Don't be a
Don't
fish
do it
milk.
for the meme.
Don't be a fish milk.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be a fish mouth.
Did you say fish mouth?
Milk.
I think he meant fish.
The fish mouth
Malkavian.
Malkavian guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I would generally say fish walk, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Malkavian,
Yeah.
Malk, whatever.
Yeah.
I just remembered Fatal. I don't know if
Oh no!
Fatal-
No, I played
Fatal's
that. No, no.
super
Oh,
edgy.
That's a masterpiece.
It's
A
a super edgy
masterpiece.
RPG made by like a pedophile Nazi, and the best meme line came from the character creation system.
Roll for
of
anal
that game.
circumference.
Yeah, roll for circumference.
Yeah, you roll the anal circumference of your character in this
Yeah,
game.
just
It's
so
really-
that way, if your character gets raped by like a gigantic orc, you can calculate damage.
I do just want to add something to this though. Do you remember when? I think it was Infinity War or maybe the one before that, Endgame. People were saying like, why didn't Ant-Man just like shrink and then climb into Thanos' ass and then expand?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh
That
yeah,
is a
that was
genuine like valid method of combat.
They didn't
Yeah.
well, they didn't do it in The Boys, but it was a point in
bomb.
like a fight where
no,
Frenchie
they
is
did
fighting
the
this
Boys.
like Ant-Man guy and is like, he's trying to get in my arse.
Yeah, they did it in the boys because
Yeah.
he goes up that one his lover's like dick and explodes.
Yeah, because he sneezes. That's the most fucked up bit.
Oh my god.
That was, I mean, The Boys is like just brutal.
Yeah.
I watched it like
Yeah,
a couple
it's
weeks
pretty-
ago. I love it.
It's a well written show, in my opinion.
Yeah. But that kind of is sometimes what it boils down to. It's just that unwillingness to you know. And I think also it's the culture raises the expectation of a lot of people that it's just a fun thing. And I understand that some people don't want to, because it is kind of emotional work to genuinely portray a complex and flawed character honestly.
Yeah.
And like because I in like my Spelljammer campaign that I'm playing right now, my character kind of has PTSD on account of, get this, seeing literally his entire homeworld getting blown up. That
Sounds
Oh, yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah,
and-
that'll do it.
but the other characters in the group, well, they're not all from that world. We have like one character who isn't, and one character who is only half. But like one of the other characters is like my cousin, in game, my in-game cousin who's a tiefling. I'm a human. I'm one of those guys who likes to play humans often.
The
but-
fighter?
it's actually Monk, and like he's a doctor, a medical
Ah.
doctor, but it's like I play the Monk class. I like do the sort of martial arts where you do like the touch of death shit, where you block people's chakras so they shit themselves. But basically, the way that this PTSD has expressed itself is that I have become excessively violent to people. And it's just have immense anger, like not just anger issues, but violence issues. And so like some guy showed up, was like, oh yes, it was actually I who suggested that they blow up your home. And I didn't even let him finish talking because I just fucking went there and I wailed on him. And I actually got an extremely good attack roll in where I was able to do 4 attacks and they all had advantage. So I rolled like
Fuck yeah.
8 d20s. Yeah, that fucking ruled. But then when he was dead, I continued to brutalize him, and that led to a lot of like emotional conflict in the party because they were like, "This is." I was the elected captain of the group, the only guy who had an actual military background, and was like, "Oh, he's the guy who can get us through this." But then I have to be like, "Oh, I'm an officer. I can never make mistakes and shit," and it's something that you need to be able to resolve emotional conflict for. And that is still work. It's still kind of, it's difficult to put yourself, even if you're a character, in that sort of trusting position sometimes. Because it's, it's always difficult to do that. And it's very rewarding to do. But I know that a lot of people, after like a hard week of work, don't want to do
emotional labor.
Yeah, they're like, I just want to kill some goblins and get some fucking loot. And I think those people are wrong.
It's like, oh, why are games like FIFA and Madden so popular? It's because some people work 40 hours a week, and at the end of the week, they just want to turn off their brain and see football.
Yeah.
Just have some football.
I mean, I do a lot
There-
of emotional labor in my job, and I just think I like doing emotional labor.
Yeah, I was like, I think
Some
that
people
like
get off of that.
Yeah.
just making like story characters and stuff and like problems and them solving it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I think I do this to myself.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think
I
it
mean,
it rewards you for your work though. Like when you get to the resolution, you're like, wow, that was a really good story, and I feel
Yeah.
like really good about it.
Yeah. Except, of course, when you have a player who like doesn't want that to be a thing.
Right. Unless they
But-
want to fuck hookers and
Yeah, and sometimes because it's become so people no longer. I feel like they don't no longer go like, oh, that's what the fuck are you doing? That's fucking gay, dude. They're trying to play with feelings and shit. They'll like just
Ew.
try to like subtly sabotage it, but like
Yeah.
making fun of the character for being like a wuss and shit. Not even like just because they're a wuss, but because they have emotions. Because like the baseline of the character they play is more like a Warhammer 40k 1000 Space Marine that is like a monolith of toxic
no
masculinity
emotions.
without any of the drawbacks of toxic masculinity, and you're like, I am traumatized by the fact that my entire family was killed. That wasn't too easy for me.
Sorry for having feelings.
So you have to
Yeah,
find the
you-
right
you-
group
you're
for that
starting to-
kind of thing.
Well, and you're in like specifically with the Warhammer 40k 1000 example, there has been some like lore like in the actual books about that, especially with like the Ultramarines, where it's like, oh, they are these hulking monoliths of combat and loyalty and all this stuff, but yeah, they got like trauma and shit. They like have feelings, and there is a lot of pushback from some fans about that. It's like, why have feelings?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I don't like about Warhammer that has always kind of put me off. This like the irony of it all is buried deep
Yeah,
sometimes, and there's I know that they like started that whole thing as like, wouldn't it be fucking badass if, and the answer is always yes.
Usually,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, but it's like I like mature stories. I like watching The Sopranos not
mature.
because they're cool mafia guys, but because they're like complex characters who are all
They have
evil.
growth.
Like, or if you like, I can't. People watch The Sopranos and like, oh yeah, Tony Soprano. I fucking love that guy. I want to be like Tony Soprano. It's like,
Like,
no,
it's like, no, you don't.
he's
no,
a
you
don't.
psychopath.
Yeah.
And like,
I,
I was like, yeah, so he's telling all this to his therapist, and the therapist didn't go to the police like they would have.
It's
Like, I
mean,
know they have like confidentiality, but like in a case where he is doing,
Confidentiality, yeah.
there's very
like, harm to
specific
people.
things that I believe, and I'm not sure that this is entirely that this is correct. I'm just pretty certain that it is. If you threaten to kill someone or seriously injure them, if you make like a specific threat in therapy,
Then they have
they're
to,
obligated
Yeah.
to tell the police.
but if
Yeah,
they,
they have to.
but if it's like you tell them about shit that you did, crimes you committed, they are bound by doctor-patient confidentiality unless you specifically like unbind them from it.
Yeah, or if they're like subpoenaed from like a court, or
Even
if they're
then,
like
there's
a court.
certain legal protections that they cannot. I think it has to be. I'm not sure with the specifics, but like a lot of crimes are still covered. I reckon probably for like national security shit, which I think is actually very unethical. I think doctor-patient confidentiality should be like pretty much absolute. But yeah, Dr. Malfi would not have been able to like go to the police about that shit.
Yeah, that you're right. You're right.
But that isn't even like it's like the point of all that whole fucking show is how incredibly out of touch these people are with
Mm.
reality. And there's
Yeah.
like people like, oh yeah, the fucking, hey, the guys, the familiar, hey, they're so fucking good, all the armor,
Yeah, I mean,
the honor.
yeah, that's what makes Always Sunny so great is
Yeah.
because they're a bunch of psychopaths living in a real world,
Yeah.
and they face no punishments for their actions.
It's,
I mean, you gotta remember, in like the second season, Dee and I forgot the actor's name, her brother, they get addicted to crack,
yeah.
and then
That's
they
a
sign
fantastic
up.
episode.
They sign up for welfare, and they get it. And then a couple episodes later, they're just back to normal.
Oh, I love that show. It's
Did
so
somebody get addicted to crack?
I think that's the name of the episode. It's like, was it like, yeah, Dee Dee gets addicted to crack or something?
good. Yeah. Oh, it's such a good
That's
show.
fucking hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah. Have you seen Always Sunny, Theo?
I've only seen some of it with some
Okay.
friends.
It's
but
a
yeah.
Yeah, I
good
need
show.
to finish. I need to start
Isn't
rewatching
the
it again.
very first episode called "The Gang Gets Racist"?
Yes.
I think it is. Yeah.
Because Dee gets a boyfriend who's black,
Yeah.
and the others just immediately scheme because of course the bar is doing horribly for business, but they see she has a black boyfriend. They immediately like, how can we exploit him to get more black customers in?
Oh my god.
Oh, it's
Mm.
such a good show.
and that was in 2000. Was it 2006 or 2004? That show's been going
It's been going for a
long
while.
time. Yeah.
Didn't they have like a break at some point?
I'm sure they did.
I think, yeah, I'm sure because I think they're, yeah, because I think it's been like 17 years, but they have 15 seasons, so they definitely took a few breaks.
15 seasons? That's more than
I think it's
What
15.
didn't you
They
thought?
do have 15 seasons. What
Yeah.
has happened? Where did they get all
And I
this?
think
Let me
I
look
think
in
they're
the
contracted-
folder where I keep always actually.
Really quick before
Yeah.
before this, I wanted to tell a story of. It's actually a story that Total Biscuit told about a game he was playing. I forgot the name of the game, but the premise is that you're a Hydra. It's a sci-fi game set in a single solar system.
Yeah.
You were a member of a race of Hydras who ruled over the solar system, but then all the separate species on their own planets rose up and just annihilated your entire race, and you're like the last Hydra around. And it's your goal, in order to survive, it's your goal to reunite the solar system. To get all
Turns out
these
the
different
war guy's pretty fucking good at war.
Yeah.
Is it that
Um,
one?
That story about the war guys.
Yeah. Where he like
uh,
excluded just them and everyone else got together.
Yeah, so he reunited all the other species, and then there was the war guys who just turned their planet into a gigantic fucking fortress, and the cost of like taking over the planet would have like ruined his entire game. So what he ended up doing was there was a race of hyper-capitalistic robots, and he signed contracts with them to start dumping all the solar system's toxic waste on the war planets, and everybody on the war planet died. And that's how he won.
They probably patched it after that.
I think they did. I think that was one of his stories.
It's
where,
called
yeah,
The Last
that's-
Federation.
The Last Federation. That's it. Yeah. That was a great story. Oh, there was also the other story where I think it was Jesse Cox. He was playing the beta. He was at an event and he's playing the beta for this RPG, and he accidentally killed an NPC that was like a quest giver. And the devs were like, okay, no, that's fine, because that quest, we got another NPC down the road that can give you that quest. Well, he goes and he accidentally kills that quest giver, and then they're like, no, that's okay, we have a backup plan. And then he ended up like killing like a goose, and the devs like looked like sad or exhausted, and they're like,
Yeah.
that goose was a quest giver.
And that's so I remember this is such a weird incident. Fucking like I was a teenager at this point, right? But I was showing an adult the video game Mass Effect. Like an actual for real adult in his 30s adult.
Mm-hmm.
And in Mass Effect, you cannot just shoot random civilians. That's just not something you can do.
Yeah.
Right.
And he got really angry about that. Like genuinely fucking mad. Like it's like, but it's just not that kind of game. It's it just isn't Oblivion. And yeah, he was very angry because like some people like to play that way, that you can kill every random NPC and then break the game doing that, and that's why they should have programmed the ability to kill every nameless fucking bystander on the Citadel into the game.
I remember a while ago, I was on vacation at my dad's place. And I was playing Modern Warfare 2, just like one of the story missions. And like my dad was like watching me, and he saw me get shot like 5 times in a row. And like all I did was like take cover and I healed up.
Yeah.
Just by sitting there. And my dad got offended. He's like, why can you still move?
Damn.
It's like,
I do think. Oh, this is gonna be back like a tabletop RPG topic again, but I actually think that how there's this thing about how this is an anime quote where it's like we used to draw anime based on what people really looked like, and now we draw anime based on what anime looks like.
Yeah.
I think in like how much of people's experience and frame of reference is based in media and the like just bullshit artistic license, and they didn't properly research it of that. I think people are often so woefully misinformed about shit that if you are actually knowledgeable about certain things, it becomes very difficult to find a common frame of reference and like properly telegraph just what the implications and the dangers of a situation are. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
can you give an example?
Well, like for instance, there was a this is a classic situation where it's like they killed some people, right? They killed someone in a game, and then it's like, yeah, okay, what do you do with the body? It's like, we're just gonna feed him to some pigs. So
Okay.
yes, but no. Or this is a situation where I can feel like it's a little bit more reasonable of them, even though it's very incorrect. There was like a guy had a chloroform rag, right? A player character, and he wanted to chloroform someone. And then
About 5 minutes.
Yeah, I made it like a big fucking struggle as the game master. And he was very confused by this because he was under the impression that you can just put the rag on someone and that's how
They
that
pass
works. There is no such that
okay, I
literally
know.
cannot happen to you. Like there
Right.
is
It
no
takes a
drug
long,
that
long
can
time.
do that.
Yeah. Okay. I get. Yeah, it's like the silencer The
That
issue
too.
with silencers in movies, whereas like the silencers in movies just go choo choo choo.
Yeah.
Whereas they're still whereas in real life they're still loud as fuck.
But it can sometimes be like really fucking weird shit, like people assuming that you can get shot multiple times and keep on going, and you never know if it's because they expect it to be like a game where their characters are badasses and they can do it because of that, or because they really think it works that way.
No, like in modern, in like Call of Duty, it's like it's clearly a game. Whereas
no,
you have
but
games like
I mean in terms of like if you do it in an RPG.
Oh,
I mean-
right.
With enough math, I'm pretty sure you can.
That that's actually true. That's
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I like the way that they explained it in Uncharted, where like he gets shot at and like they just say that it's like near misses until like a certain number, and then you die. I'm like, at least that kind of is trying to explain it.
But that then goes to the point of like, which is somewhat realistic. Nobody ever fucking hits with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Like most gunshots just go nowhere.
I mean, you do miss more than you hit usually.
Yeah. It's pretty. It is kind of actually difficult to shoot something with a gun effectively. And even if you do shoot someone, they don't immediately die.
Right.
It's hard to hit someone in the heart.
Well, it's like I think it was like I think it was the U.S. Army that like did a study, and they calculated it was like the overwhelming I don't know the exact percentages, but the overwhelming majority of shots fired from a soldier actually hits what they're supposed to hit. Like, most of the time, it's just covering fire or just scatter, just panicking fire.
Yeah.
Oh, because they're not actually aiming at, like...
Oh, this is like that Prussian experiment where they put up this sort of white piece of cloth, and they had, like, an infantry regiment standing in front of it, like, lined up the way they used to, and shooting at that with their muskets. And it was like completely perforated, and like if there's like an enemy regiment there, they should all be dead. But that in a battlefield situation, that never really happened. And the reason for that is that humans don't actually like murder.
Yeah.
We don't like murdering people. So most of those soldiers would just deliberately miss.
Well, it's not even deliberately; it's just subconsciously. They just
perhaps also that.
I think there's just a subconscious element to it.
Yeah. Like in that moment, it's just another thing. I think people think it's easier to kill than it really is.
It really isn't.
It's very hard. Like, I've even gotten angry at people, and I've been really close, but I've been like, I couldn't bring myself to end someone's life on purpose.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, no matter how angry I am, I know I'm gonna be less angry later, and I'm just like, I can't unkill you. So.
Yeah, there's always the factor that of you making a mistake that you can't take back.
Yeah, and I think we're so desensitized to killing that even when we do play the kind of character that doesn't usually kill people, it's very easy to, when it does happen, brush it off and not think about it as that character.
I think
because it's like, I'm the good, and like he attacked me, he had a gun to my face, and I used my magic powers to kill him. It's like, yes, definitely, like, ethically you were in the wrong, but even people who are in the right, but even people who are ethically correct about doing these kinds of things in self-defense will have sleepless nights over it unless they're psychopaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's like...
Not me just staring out the window having Vietnam flashbacks right now.
It is actually
I think you mentioned it, Burger. Where in Mass Effect, like, people missed out like on like tens of hours of content in the Mass Effect series because they didn't want to play Renegade. Like, they didn't even want to be like necessarily a bad guy. They didn't want to be a dick.
I actually did play Renegade when I was an edgy teenager because I was like,
Oh,
you need to be an asshole. And like recently, with my last playthrough, I just made decisions the way I would make them as a guy today. And I was like mostly Paragon. I did some like Renegade decisions with people who were
Yeah,
real
same.
fucking assholes. But
Like the
I
reporter.
punched that bitch right in the face. The reporter, I was like, nope.
that actually is the one where I wouldn't do that IRL. Actually,
I
wouldn't
did.
do that. But I still did it in the game because you can't not do it. Anyway, I think it's time. I know it's time to end the stream. It's been
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
been real, y'all. It's been coolio. I hope to
Yeah.
see you all next week, or perhaps not.
Hopefully.
And see you around, cunts.